This is episode number 2 of Bet the Farm podcast. I'm Eric Pfeffer. Alongside me are my 3 best buddies. We got Brandon Plotnick, a.k.a. The Pig. We got Miles Singer, a.k.a. The Milkman. Jared Plotnick, welcome back. The Farmer. And, of course, myself, The Sheep. It was a great first episode. We gave you guys a lot of winners. We got a jam-packed episode today. We're going to recap last week's picks. We're going to go over some, bad beats of the week, break down each one of our weeks as far as, profits. We're going to go through the red card of the week, one of our favorite segments. We got a nice little twist for you guys this week as well. We're going to add in some of the worst referee calls in the history of sports. We're going to give you, obviously, our cash crop picks again. We were red hot last week, so we want to keep that momentum going. Some big events this week. NBA is back next week. We got championship football. Guys, it was a great first week. I'm very excited to sit back here at this table and, talk some of our picks and, go over some big winners that we picked.
8-1 on the week last week.
8-1 as a group.
Start.
That's phenomenal. We had Brandon giving us 3 winners, 1 underdog. Milkman, nice and consistent, 1 game, 1 winner.
1 for 1.
The Farmer, there's a reason why we call him the Farmer. He gives you a lot of bets, and he hits. So that was big. And the Sheep got lucky this week, 2-0. So don't get too excited at home. It's a long season, but
progression is due.
Yeah, progression is due.
And don't forget our correspondent, Matty Law.
With
a 1-5 record, baby. That's what we like to see out of him.
Review.
Yeah, please don't take his picks seriously.
Those picks you want to be on the other side of.
It was a great review. I ate Flanagan's twice this week after that. Even my wife was like, oh my God, I want Flanagan's right after seeing that. So, it's doing the job. It's one of our best restaurants we have in town. If those of you guys don't know, Flanagan's, great restaurant, seafood bar. We're going to be doing that once a week, so make sure you tune into that.
Even better beer specials.
Great beer specials. You got Joe's Pale Ale. You got 50 beers on tap.
That's a bit embellished, but yeah, they got the greatest.
Let's dive right into it, guys. Brandon 3-0 last week.
Big week.
What were some of the big bets? How'd you end up?
Yeah, so 3-0, actually coming up on about a 4-unit profit. It was a 1-unit bet on everything, but with Oliveira money line as a big underdog. Cash had at plus 140.
What a hit.
It was a nice hit. Yeah, just to kind of give a little recap on what we had there, it was Charles Oliveira in the co-main event of UFC 256. By the way, that whole card was phenomenal.
Yes.
My brother, maybe not the biggest UFC fan in the history of the world, but watched the whole card with me and afterwards said it was the best card he's ever seen. I'd say it was top 5 in my books. It was just so fun. Every fight was good.
You guys were texting me, and I wasn't even there, and I could feel the nastiness in the fight, back and forth, bloodbath. And I'm like, damn, I wish I ordered that. So I could already tell through the text message what a fight it was.
You know what was crazy was what I would consider maybe the most boring fight on the main card was probably Charles Oliveira versus Tony Ferguson, because Charles Oliveira as an underdog just straight mollywop this guy. It was just complete dominance on the ground, as I predicted. A great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappler. I said Ferguson likes to stand and throw crazy elbows and do some crazy karate type kung fu moves, and guess what? He didn't even have the chance, because every time he was standing, Charles Oliveira would grab him, throw him on the ground, and just sit on top of him and suffocate him the whole time. So he won by unanimous decision.
Yeah, that's big in UFC too.
And I believe it was a 50-46 win, that's a pretty massive victory. Yeah, that's 10-8, 10-8, 10-8. So really nice
I didn't get to
cash.
watch that fight. I was out, and I just trying to keep up with their text messages.
The biggest thing I look for in those fights,
best.
I just love Bruce Buffer.
Of course.
Was he on fire that night? He must have been going nuts.
He's always the best. So
always got the energy.
That was a nice cash. Now, just a quick preview. Instead of going over UFC on a 1-by-1 basis moving forward, every time there's a big card, myself and one of my correspondents, the UFC specialist Wesley Bernero, the Burn Dog, are going to be doing the Burn Dog. We're going to be doing a weekly recording to go over every fight by fight, or every card fight by fight, I should say, and give you guys some great analysis so you guys can follow along with us. So we'll release that on Fridays when there's a big card that week, including this week, which is the last card of the 2020 calendar year. Aside from the UFC, so that was 1-0 for me. Bucks minus 6.5. You and I were sweating that one at the end.
Tough start, but Brady always prevails. Second half, we definitely got to thank
those extra points.
We got to thank Dan Bailey.
Field goals, Dan Bailey.
Dan Bailey, I don't know. You lost your job probably. Did he get cut yet, or
no? Not that.
He still has a job.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure, yeah.
That's insane. I don't know
so
how you have a job.
That was big for us. That cashed, and then I had a teaser with Green Bay -2.5. I know Jared and I were discussing Green Bay -2.5.
Oh yeah, baby.
And we said that we didn't like the line at 7.5, and thank God because they won by 7. So teased that down with the key number, and I had Bills Steelers under 52.5, which won pretty convincingly. So 3-0. I will add as well that I did have a chance to tail the milkman in a live bet for the Georgia game. I'll let him talk a little bit more about it, but I think it was 52.5, 53, and I got it live at 49.5. So technically a 4-0 W.
Hey, that's not part of the cash crops.
I didn't say it was. I just said
Alright, so,
nice
hey,
week. Nice week.
Still a good week. Hey, winning is winning. We're not going to give everyone at home all of our picks. Those are some that we have to keep in the group, but we will give you some winners. But if you want to follow us consistently, that will be an option down the line. Yeah, speak about that Georgia Missouri game,
Yeah,
Miles.
so-
You liked that one a lot. That was one of your picks, and
That was the
Cash.
only one I had. And they cashed after 3 quarters too. So that
I was
made
a
it
little,
easy.
I was a little skeptical. Georgia's defense early in the year was
Yeah.
pretty good. But they've been unraveling lately.
I was
so.
expecting it to be high scoring on both ends. Missouri only put up 14 points, but luckily Georgia scored 49, and after 3 quarters,
Nice.
they
Well,
covered. So
wanna know is-
and Dino got to catch that as well since he tailed. And
1-0 is a great start, but the people at home are going to want more from you and see what your real track record is going to be. But hey, nonetheless, 1-0. Nice job, kid.
Hey, for the first time all year, we got to milk his udders, baby.
Oh,
we'll introduce you to some of that as time goes on.
Yeah, once
we got a
the NBA
couple
gets going.
handshakes.
All right, I'm gonna just before we get to the farmer. You got the most picks. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about my couple picks. Obviously, me and Brandon talked about the Bucks. That was a cash, and then I tried telling you guys about the Thursday night game, Rams -5. Wire to wire, never looked like a doubt that they were gonna lose. Some of our competitors out there on podcasts were talking about Patriots by 21, Patriots by 24. It was a no contest, so I'm very happy with this. I was very happy with the start. That's my strategy. Moving forward, I love to go that route on games. Sorry, Spurs almost scored. This is a Spurs supporter podcast. Just missed wide of the post, but we'll keep you updated on any score changes throughout the program.
Hey, we took earlier, as we were talking about my future, 10-1 Tottenham.
Yeah.
It's a big game at top of the table versus Liverpool, so
Just
gotta pay
wide.
attention to it.
All right, well, 2-0 to start the regular season for the Sheep here. We got 3-0 for Brandon, 1-0 for Miles. We're going to send you back to the farmer, and he's going to break down his winners and
Potential bad beats.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later. But it was a good 3-1 week, I guess, officially on the cash crops, right? I know when we're putting them in on Wednesdays when we're doing the show, I have the bets I like, the numbers I like, but later on in the week, sometimes, as we talked about strategy-wise, sometimes I want to wait till later on. So find things like I ended up taking the Cardinals -2.5 against the Giants, talking about how the last 3 weeks they underperformed, and the Giants 5 weeks in a row had won, and everyone was high on the Giants, and those are the kind of wagers I look for. So that wasn't officially my cash crop, but took that one, and then another one that we'll touch on later when we're talking about bad beats. But yeah, I got Bills -2.5, and that was Sunday Night Football, and that was just...
I actually gave that pick out. I'm in a couple of multiple chats with my friends, and I was just like, I love the Bills, and they were texting me the next day, and I said, don't credit me, credit the farmer, but, I look like a hero in the book.
Yeah, that one, just a great spot there for the Bills, and you'll be hearing about the Bills coming in my cash crops for this week. But yeah, that was an easy one, and then again, when we're talking about teasers and we're talking about optimal strategies and how you want to take your teasers through key numbers, right? And as Brandon alluded to a little earlier, Packers. I was like, I don't like them with the hook, and I'll give you some credit over here,
Yeah.
Mr. Sheep.
I
Sharp
told you.
analysis from you saying that Lions at home always give the Packers trouble and tend to cover. So I felt comfortable that Packers were going to win, but I never want to lay over a touchdown on the road in that type of divisional matchup. So I had that teased down to 1.5 with the Chargers up to 8.5, and
That was
that
crazy.
game at the end, it
That was
looked
a
like if them
crazy
and the
game.
Falcons wanted to win, but the beauty was I had over that touchdown, so I wasn't sweating it at
That
all.
was a crazy game.
I was too distracted by the Dolphins game.
And I had the Dolphins +7, never in doubt. I mean, that one
Ah,
was a
easy.
cover from
That
start
was
to
the
finish.
luckiest cover
All right.
that we covered
So,
on the right side.
This is what I was going to get at.
I loved it though.
I would love to hear your bad beat because you had some good beats this week too. So let's not overshadow those.
It was a good beat, but it also, that's part of football. That happens a lot.
Yeah, what happens a lot? Ball State. How about that good beat?
Yeah, that was a
Let's
crazy
hear
game.
that. I don't
State.
even.
The laterals. The team runs on the
That's not-
field.
that wasn't a cash crop pick, but that's an in-house pick that you subscribe to our premium. Might get some, you might get some premium picks.
Me and Jared took that. We were sitting there like we thought we had it in the bag, and Jared's like, he sent a tweet of the clip in our group chat. He's like, "Did you watch it?" I was like, "No," because I just saw that at Cash.
Yeah,
He's like, "You got to go see that."
If you haven't seen it, you got to go look it up on Twitter. But long story short, Ball State was winning by like 3 at the end. The other team, what was it, Eastern Michigan? I don't even know. They started laddering the ball, pitching it, and they thought the Ball State sideline thought that they had tackled the guy on the ground, but the ball was
And the
loose.
band is
So
on
the
the field.
entire Ball State team runs on the field, and the ball's still loose. They start running around. No one knows who's on the field, who's not part of the
The
11
whole
man.
team is on the
And
field.
That's crazy.
They end up
Like
picking up
retro
the ball
Stanford.
and taking it to the
crib,
end zone
to win.
But there was an illegal forward pass,
Yeah.
so it got taken back. And
I didn't even see a flag in the
Was
field.
it
It was
actually
wild.
illegal forward pass?
Yes,
Or-
that's
Yeah.
why it was called
No, I'm
miles.
asking, was it a bullshit call or was it?
No, it was definitely a
No,
foul.
it was-
Because that
it was
looks
bad.
clean. The whole thing, like just.
Yeah,
watching
speaking
it.
of what we thought might be a legal forward pass, how about the worst back lateral pass that you got to experience on, what was it, some Monday night?
For the third time, Brandon, we're gonna get to that later. When
We're talking about bad beats.
Yeah.
No, I thought we were reviewing picks right now, and I.
we got a little off track. But
It's all right. Bad beat's a bad beat. It wasn't really a bad beat for the sheep over here, but I'll let you guys, have your moment.
all right,
Yeah,
continue.
It's something I don't want to talk about. And
I mean, it's pretty obvious if you're a sports fan. Browns were getting 3. It was an unreal Monday Night Football game. Probably one of the best Monday Night Football games from what I gathered. Obviously, I'm a Monday to Friday kind of guy. Corporate job. I was sleeping by 9:30, so everything I was reading was pretty wild. But obviously,
Game of the year.
yeah, game of the year. That's what everyone was saying.
yeah, it's phenomenal.
Browns plus 3.
So yeah.
Trying to do a little lateral. And
Yeah, the
then
quarterback runs to the locker room to go shit himself. It was
Yeah,
wild.
what happened with that?
So yeah, cramps.
Lamar
I heard
Jackson.
shit, cramp. I mean, what do you guys
Who
think?
knows? We weren't in the bathroom.
He definitely was cramping, but it was fun. It was a lot more fun for everyone to speculate.
Yeah, what
that
a
he was-
play.
Well, what was
Maybe,
crazy about it was that, in my opinion, was Trace McSorley came in to relieve him, pun intended, and when he came in, he got hurt after a few plays, and right when he gets hurt, Lamar Jackson comes running onto
Out
the
of
field.
nowhere.
It's as if he was in the bathroom or something in the locker room.
Kinda
My guess
reminds-
and what I heard was I think he was getting an IV for the cramps. So he was probably waiting for it to drip, whatever, however the IV works for the players in the locker room. And then when he saw the injury, he's like, I got to go play because I don't think they had another quarterback on the roster.
Shades of
Yeah,
Shane
RG3's
Falco
already on the
replacements. Shane Falco,
Shane
like
Falco.
at halftime, like hair coming back on the field for the Washington Sentinels.
Yeah, it was only that was the last play, last drive of the game.
I know you get my drift. All right, guys.
Taking
Well,
too long
we got a
for
lot of.
Well, I gotta do last
he's
but
got,
not least.
like-
I gotta touch on my last of the cash crop, which was the only loser of the group, and that was defending an Adam Gase team that quit, and they got absolutely smoked by Seattle, which should have saw coming after Seattle lost the week before at home. They weren't gonna take this team lightly, so bad pick, but those happen.
Yeah, you should have listened to the host here. Never bet on the Jets, but we'll
We
move
didn't
on.
learn that
Eight-
from week one.
Yeah,
right?
what would have happened if you said that the week before? I mean,
Yeah, you're right. 8-1 though, nonetheless. 8-1, nice week. Bet the Farm podcast. We didn't really talk about it last episode, like where the name came from, like the idea. So we were going to talk about a little bit about that, right? Bet the Farm. I mean, we've been trying.
What is Bet the Farm? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Right? Why am I the pig? Why are you the sheep? Why is he the farmer? So on and so
well,
forth.
what's even the phrase "bet the farm"?
Well, yeah, Bet the Farm obviously is basically going all in, betting the house. There's so many analogies for it, but Bet the Farm is on these cash crops we give you. We're really going Bet the Farm. We're going all in. We're not. These are not leans. These are analytically driven picks. Statistical backup. So when we're saying these picks, that's why we're called Bet the Farm. We want to give you just the best of the best.
But it kind of coincides with some nicknames that we came up for each other over the years. So as it turns out, we actually have all known each other since we were little kids, childhood friends,
Yeah.
lifelong friends. And growing up, I always called Miles the cow. I just always thought he looked like a cow. His head is so big, and I just always thought he looked
And
like
now
a
it's just
cow.
ironically like he's milking winners in NBA.
Yeah.
So like it just goes hand in hand.
It's just I've always called him the cow, and honestly, we went to different colleges, different schools, and whatnot. And he's a little older, and we lost touch. But I've always called him the cow, so he's always the cow. And then for myself, my brother came up with a nickname for me about four years ago or so. I got home from college, went to Florida State, and as most people
Let's
do,
just say he drank too many beers in college.
as most people do, they tend to pack on a few pounds as they get older. And I was just really, honestly, I wasn't even fat. I just was
But
a little fatter.
we've always known you as little skinny Brandon.
Right,
like,
It wasn't even that. You were skinny coming out of college. Then you come home and I live with you, and you're having like 5 to 6 meals a day, and you're just blowing up. So in front of me, it's
like
just,
Jonah.
to me, it looks like you're
It's a
just
pig.
you're
Eating like a goddamn
you're
pig.
literally a pig.
So I've been the pig for a little while now, and then as we became addictive gamblers, we
Easy. I'm not an addictive gambler. I'm just a host. All right?
then,
Jesus.
then
All
Bet the
entertainment
Farm came to
purposes.
fruition, and we realized that it was a good niche, and we got the farmer who creates all of our crops and makes it so that we
Well, that was Miles'
can
doing.
sustain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then the sheep, who like a standard sheep does, he follows the crowd. So
We got some other animals on the farm as well that you guys will meet as the weeks go on. But
yeah. So that's kind of where Bet the Farm came from.
Yeah, absolutely.
we got a worm and a bear.
Yeah. that's-
Let's dive in. I know Red Card of the Week is one of our favorite segments. It was a crazy week. There was a lot of things to talk about. I can get it going first. I mean, easy Red Card of the Week for me is that Florida Gators cornerback throwing the shoe for a personal foul, which ultimately led to a game-winning field goal for LSU, which I was saving my bad beat for. When the Gators were down by 10 in the third quarter, it was minus 135 for Gators money line. I'm like, okay, they're not losing this game. Like, they have to win next week, and they're playing for a playoff spot. So, fuck you for throwing the shoe. I mean, cost me the game. It was third and 18. Guy, like a little dump pass, splits the tacklers. Guy's holding the shoe, throws it 20 yards down the field. And the best of it all is the referee, unsportsmanlike conduct for throwing a player's shoe 20 yards down the field. I'm like,
He said 20
yeah,
yards
he
down
literally
the field.
says
Wow.
20 yards down the field. I never heard a ref actually say that. He would just be like unsportsmanlike conduct. So I was like, double whammy there. I mean, that kid literally just cost his team a chance probably at playing for a national championship if they can get the job done this week. But nonetheless, I mean, that kid needs to be cut or, I don't know.
Give it a red card.
Yeah, red card of the week. Eric Pfeffer to the kid on Florida. Let's get it over to the farmer. Your red card of the week?
As Brandon tried to allude to earlier, it's pretty obvious where my red card of the week is going to. That's the entire fucking Browns offense. For you, what are you thinking? You're laddering the ball back in the end zone? You think you have any chance of taking that 105 yards?
It makes me sick.
For those that don't know, I mean, obviously I had the Browns +3, and that game was electric. And when they were down 14, you guys saw they went for 2 to cut the lead to 6, which is the analytical play that a lot of people like to argue with. But then I was hoping at the end, at least, when they went and they scored with less than a minute left. I was hoping they went for 2 there because
I know, so
either they take the lead
right.
or they're down 1,
Thinking the same
and
thing.
worst case they take the lead and Baltimore comes down and kicks a field goal. You cover. Instead, Justin Tucker drills a 55-yarder because the guy's automatic.
From 70.
And the
Yeah.
Browns try to lateral the ball 20 times, and they just keep going backwards.
At one
and end
point,
up
I thought they
just
were-
throwing the ball out of the back of the end zone for a safety. So, fuck you.
That actually happened a few years ago. There was a Monday Night Football game just like that. Similar play, lateral move, and it ended up being a safety. I don't forget what team it was, but it's not the first time it happens, but it kind of
Oh, no.
happens.
It's
Wow.
happened to me multiple times, too.
Did you see FanDuel came out and decided to refund
I hate
any
that shit.
bettors who had +3, +3.5, or
Hate that.
+4, and it equal to $750,000 that FanDuel refunded?
Yeah, it's called advertisement
Of
marketing.
course
You
it
know
is.
why? Because now legal betting is getting a lot more prevalent in the U.S., which
know.
means a lot of competition amongst the sports books. So now
It sets a bad precedent, though, no
No, it
matter
doesn't.
what.
It's set
It
for them. It's
does.
just marketing.
No, because then anytime someone has a bad beat, they're going to expect it.
No,
Yeah.
you're not going to expect it. It's not going to happen. Just one sports book of many that did it. And they did it because now people
No, I
are like,
see.
oh, I want to go bet on that website because
I don't
now
know
they're
about
going to,
that.
maybe there's a chance that they're going to look out for me.
I think it sets a bad precedent.
Yeah. Well, I see both sides. Yeah, I definitely see, you're going to.
I was explaining to someone, I think it's great for players
Well,
to,
yeah.
to have so many options available where they're so competitive that you have so much opportunity to get
Yeah,
so much
so that-
rewards for
That's
doing
where-
nothing.
Yeah, that's where he
For betting.
I can see what you're saying is like now the people are going to want to go to that sports book, kind of expecting
Exactly.
them to get it back.
That's
the other thing I don't like is this is gambling. There's
people-
so many times where you're on the right side of that. Like, so what? They're just losing money,
Right.
It's
They
not
could
losing money. They're paying
they-
$750,000 for advertisements.
Yeah.
Now everyone's talking about how FanDuel did this and FanDuel did that. Oh, wow, I kind of want to go.
They can thank Bet the
wager on
Farm
that
for all the different business that they bring in.
Well, it's not legal here anyways, but any of our listeners over in maybe Canada or you can.
All right, Miles, what do you got for me? Red card of the week. Shoot.
Well, mine was going to be the Browns defense as well. Just in letting that happen. Obviously, I tell the Farmers.
That's the Browns offense, by the way.
Well, you're right. They're
Well, Browns defense did give up 45 points,
Oh,
so
okay.
they,
They deserve it, yeah.
But I do want to give credit to the pig. We went 4 for 4 on props that game, so that completely made up for it. It didn't even matter.
I might have to do a Monday morning or Monday afternoon prop show as well.
It was unbelievable, and I didn't think twice about it. That's what made it amazing. I mean, Lamar's rushing overs cash in the
that
first
was-
half.
I was hot.
That's the only reason why I can never bet. I can never bet on the Browns or anybody.
Kareem Hunt's rushing unders was kind of getting scary towards
And
the end.
it did get a little worrisome because they had a lead at certain times, and I thought that the game script was going to go against them, but it ended up working out pretty well.
Nothing bothers me more when you know, if you're a Browns better, like the one thing you can't do is let Lamar Jackson run all over you. Like all week, the coaches are doing
You know
it.
what else was wild was that Lamar slipped at least 15 times in the first half. He could not keep his
I
bearings.
know, it was terrible.
And he still was running all over them. But I guess nobody could, really. Everybody was slipping and sliding.
He had a good game. He was a
But-
freak.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up working out, so I
was a nice
appreciate
night.
that. Kareem Hunt's unders, like, when obviously on special teams, when they got safety, I was like,
Yeah.
it's all right, it's still going to cash
Yeah,
and
it
make
was,
it
it
work.
was a good night for props.
But thank you, I appreciate that.
Anytime. Well, my red card of the week, I'll give a yellow to start. That was on Miles for just, first of all, tailing Jared's red card of the week, and then also calling it Cleveland's defense.
I respect that.
So that's a
a red
yellow.
card for not even giving a red card and just talking about player props.
well,
Yeah, so that's the yellow. My actual red card of the week goes to Martin Emerson, the Mississippi State cornerback, number 1.
Ooh.
I don't know if anybody saw
I
this. It
did
went
see that.
viral.
I did see
He was
that.
talking so much shit to Seth Williams, the wide receiver for Auburn. And if you know Seth Williams and pay attention to college football, this kid is a bona fide stud.
Yeah, he's
Literally,
a-
I think he's a top 5 projected receiver in
Definitely
the
a
NFL.
first-round probably
Yeah,
pick.
he's probably a first round projected prospect.
Fucked his ass.
And he was talking so much smack in his face, clapping in his face right before the play starts. The next play, I think they were on the 35, 40-yard line.
that was
They throw a
pretty.
bomb to Seth Williams,
Pretty.
and he catches it right in his grill, burned his ass.
That was nice.
It was, and then right when Seth Williams got up, he started talking so much shit right in the guy's face. And
have to
honestly,
talk shit.
he should have, because
Yeah.
that guy, that's a red card. What are you doing? You don't.
yeah.
If you're a nobody, you don't go up to a stud's face, start talking all this shit, and then go get burned the next play. So red card, Martin Emerson, you're a loser.
Yeah, I love it. The best was the ref didn't even give him a personal foul. Like,
Yeah,
he knew,
he
like,
let it ride,
even the
too.
ref knew what was going on, and he was like, "Oh, that's good for that guy."
Yeah, he let that
like,
ride.
Thank
I
God
like
he
that.
got a touchdown. Well, there was some big games over the weekend. We're looking forward to this weekend, guys. We have college football championships. NFL is getting late in the season.
Saturday Night Football is back.
And the Green Bay Packers are back as well, baby. Number one seed in the NFC. That's huge.
I think it was you. Someone told me I think it was you. You were telling me, obviously, as a Green Bay homer, in the middle of the season, he was like, we have the easiest strength of schedule the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah.
Take Green Bay live to win the division at whatever number you can get it at. I got it at minus 350. Put about, how many units? Probably about a 5 unit play for me. And that cashed
Cashed already? Yeah.
So that was a nice win.
I'm looking good. I got Green Bay to win the Super Bowl and win the NFC Championship. Get Carolina this week. I have Tennessee next week, which is going to be on Sunday Night Football, which is awesome.
It's always interesting when you
Yeah.
get to the end of the year and they start talking about all the different scenarios of how teams can get into the playoffs.
It's the
Like,
best.
as a Dolphins fan, I was looking every game by game. It's like they've got 30% chance this week, but if they win, it goes up to 58 and 75. It gets so fun at this time of year.
Yeah, it's a tough loss. And then, of course, the Ravens winning, too, hurts your Dolphins' chances, but you still got a good chance.
But what's great about this season and with this new format for the playoffs where only the number 1 seed gets the bye is that there's not going to be as many teams benching their players week 17. So it's going to be a much more interesting final 3 weeks of the season, I think.
Because there's going to be a lot more games that have meaning. So
For
it's like,
example,
yeah, and
the
only
Bills,
one team,
the Bills may not be able to bench anybody week 17 because the division might still be up for grabs and home field and all those good fun
That's
things.
interesting, yeah. That's why having the number 1 seed is definitely beneficial this year. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's go back to the cash crops. Like we said, 8-1 to start. We're gonna look to repeat that. It's gonna be very hard, but let's see what we got. I mean, Brandon, what do you got for me?
Yeah, so my first NFL play of the week, it's going to be my number 1 cash crop on the week, is Browns minus 4.5, going right back to the well
Whoa.
at the Giants. It's a 2-unit play for me. Daniel Jones currently listed as questionable with that leg injury, calling it a hammy. Honestly, I think it might be better if they just let him play because if he's hobbled and he's a turnover machine to begin with. But I'm just in full fade mode of the Giants. They had a fluke win over Seattle. Like Jared mentioned, they had won 5 in a row, but they really did not play any good teams. They were playing Cincinnati and playing in the NFC East, which is just atrocious. They got exposed versus the Cardinals this week, who I don't even think are that good to begin with. Now, when we get to the analytics, the Browns have a top 3 run offense in the NFL, obviously led by Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And one thing I was looking at was one of the websites I really subscribe to and love is establish the run, and they have a metric that's defense versus position rankings, which basically just means their projected points versus the expectation. And this week, the Giants have a negative 6% quarterback versus defense matchup and a negative 2% wide receiver ranking. This should mean a tough day sledding for the Giants offense. Also, when it comes to weather, I always talk about weather, but New York's getting slammed by snow at the moment.
Yes.
So
My
they're
boy
going to
lives
be
up
pounded.
there.
I heard a
cousin.
potential foot of snow. So this may make it more of a run style game, feeding right into the hands of the Browns, who'd love to feed the ball to the running backs. I'm not scared of Wayne Gallman and
chance.
Deion Lewis, so not really too worried about that. And then really at the end of the day, it's 4.5 right now, depending on Daniel Jones and what news comes out. And with Colt McCoy and whoever their backups may be, I think this line ends at above 5 or above.
I could definitely see you touch
So I think
6.
there's good value on that.
I always know there's air between 4.5 and 6, so probably we'll get to 6 if that's what
Right.
I think.
Right. And that's good. That's gonna be my first one. So Cal, or you got any NFL plays, or should we go to the farmer this week?
Yeah, you should go to the farmer for the NFL plays.
What's your NFL play this week, bud?
Oh, we're going all the way around this time?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
going
we're
round and round. We're talking NFL.
Yeah, we're talking NFL, so keep it on football.
Oh, I got 5 for you, so I guess I got the mic for a little while. You know that's my specialty, so that's what I'm primarily focused on. Let's start on Thursday Night Football. And I'm going right back to the well, although not a teaser this time, and give me the Chargers plus 3.5.
I like it.
At the Raiders. Anyone that knows me knows 2 things from this game. One, and I said it I think in the last episode, fade the Raiders. I'm not a Raiders fan. They've been
At home,
overrated.
though, it doesn't bother you.
They both play in the same area. I mean, isn't it both Vegas teams now? I don't even know. It's in the same.
LA Chargers.
No, so it doesn't even matter to
Jesus.
me. Point is, the second thing is Chargers getting points. Take them. Chargers laying points, fade them. It's the thing I've played for the last couple of years. And
Smart.
I would say it's probably the same way with the Raiders, right? Raiders favored, you usually take them.
Yeah.
Raiders getting or
Chargers, I feel more confident. Their games are so close.
yeah,
Raiders as
I expect
favorites.
this game to come down to the end. To me, it's a coin flip, and I'm getting over that key field goal number. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take them. On a short week, too, this Oakland defense is just... Or, now it's LA, sorry. They're just... Now you got me shook.
It's Las
I mean,
Vegas.
I don't
I'll tell you that,
keep
I'll
up
tell
with
you
where I don't keep up with where these teams are playing, where they're from. It doesn't matter.
at the end of the day, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
It's still the fucking Raiders.
Yeah.
It's
There's
like
no
still the
fans
Chargers.
anyways. Who gives
Exactly.
a shit?
I know the
Yeah.
teams. I don't care where they play. Point is, this defense is for Oakland has been getting absolutely demolished, and they're going to continue to get
They
demolished.
just fire their defense coordinator.
Yeah, and you don't do that on a short week now, and now they're gonna have to go on a short week and play here and with I don't know, they made him scapegoat for no reason. That just defense sucks. It sucks. It
I like
sucked
the
for-
guy.
It
He's a good
sucked
guy.
for the better part of a decade too, and they just can't fix it. So give me the Chargers plus 3.5. Second, and I know Eric's gonna love this one. We're going to Saturday night, and we're going with covering Teddy Bridgewater plus 9.
geez.
Wow.
All he does is
I
cover.
hate Teddy too much.
You give him over a touchdown, that boy's covering.
No.
All right, he did against. I took him earlier in the year when they played Kansas City. Everyone thought the same thing. No, put that game down the wire, covered.
Yeah, last
Packers
year.
off of a clinching the division. Now we get to just go take it easy. We're gonna go hang out at home.
We got-
We can still get a bye, but like we're playing Carolina without McCaffrey. This is just, I don't care. I take Bridgewater over a touchdown every time. So
Yeah, last year was that they played it and it was a tight game. Remember, it was snowing. It was also late in December, and we literally won at the very end. We stuffed McCaffrey on the one. We didn't cover that spread either. Green Bay historically with those big spreads, it's a low percentage when they cover. It's a little bit better when they're at home, but yes, I could definitely see them taking their foot off the gas a little bit. At the end of the day, I see them winning. I just don't see them covering. So I
Yeah.
like
Well, the
that
number one
pick.
thing I also look for in teams when I'm getting over a touchdown, right, is their ability to score. And Carolina can score. I mean, they have an electric offense. I'm hoping it'll only make this bet even better, but I expect DJ Moore to be back off the COVID list. And, I mean, they have a great receiving core. Mike Davis has put up, 90% of the production that McCaffrey has. I mean, he's just filled in properly. I mean, they scored 24 points. Packers are going to have to score 34. I mean, good luck. I'm taking the 9. All right, so third or fifth pick, and this is a square pick, right? Square pick being out there. An obvious pick if someone just that doesn't pay attention to football and wants to look at a card and see a line and they're like, oh, I'm taking this team. No, I'm not normally one to take the square pick, but here we are because I love the Chiefs -3 on the road at the Saints. Being on the road at the Saints isn't what it usually is, meaning like you don't have that electric Superdome. Breeze is questionable. If he doesn't play, I just like it even that much more. And the line will probably go up another half or a point, but I think that they're saying he's questionable, he's going to play or not, but Taysom Hill's not a quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback, and if you don't have an NFL quarterback going against Mahomes, good luck. And I have Mahomes, and I only have to lay a field goal. I'm taking that one every day. So, assuming that's gonna be a popular pick all around the town, but don't care. Those still cash 45% of the time. So give it to me.
Depending how much of the public's on it, that line should move maybe in your direction, anyways.
Yeah, I think if Breeze officially gets ruled out, I think this line's taking into account that Breeze may play.
Which is even better. I mean, and you have Mahomes coming off a 3-interception game, so you know he's gonna be locked in a little more. Like,
and this is a big game for him. It could be a Super Bowl preview. You know, he's gonna be hyped for that. He's inside. You don't have to worry about weather. I really like that play, so I'll be on that. And fourth, not a sexy one, but one I love, and I'm going back to what I did with the Browns. I'm on Night Football. I'm fading the Ravens. I'm going the Jaguars plus 13.
whoa.
I'm in on that.
And I love this play, and because I mean you don't want to like talk up the Jags defense at all, right? They kind of suck, but the best part of their defense is their run defense, right? Not saying much, but their pass defense is atrocious. Their run defense is quite better, which obviously you need against the Ravens. But the main reasons for this play also with getting the 13 is who's back under center. It's Minshew. So we get him back under center, and you could tell he's by far and away the best Jags quarterback, and he's pretty good. And he's the kind of guy I would like to cover the spread. As you just saw, this Baltimore defense got shredded by Baker Mayfield. They're not the same defense that they once were, and
going back to the well, Jets plus 13 last week. Why not try it again? Numbers are on your side. I mean,
Three of the last 5 times these teams have faced off, it's been within a 5-score game.
Good stat.
Is it a 5-score game?
5-point game.
5-point game.
5-point
Sorry.
game.
Excuse
Okay.
me.
Yeah, 35 points, like 5-score.
5-point game.
No, yeah. So I really like it. Especially, it's also a bad spot for the Ravens. I mean, coming off that big Monday Night Football win, got a short week. I mean, they know they have to win. They're not going to take this lightly, but with Minshew under center.
I think Lamar threw for 96 yards. At least that's what he had before that bomb touchdown.
I went to sleep. He had like 5 passing attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really didn't think that they looked that great. He was just running all over them.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to have his overs and rushing yards.
It was.
And as I alluded to earlier, last but not least, pick in the NFL. I know the Bills has been great to us the last 2 weeks, right? They've covered for us back-to-back weeks when I took them.
I was gonna say you love the Bills,
and that's why I'm going against them this week. Time to fade them. They had 2 great spots the last 2 weeks, primetime matchups, must-win games, and this week now they just we have to go play the Broncos in Mile High. This is your traditional letdown spot. I mean, it scares me with the Broncos how thin they are at cornerback going against a Bills team that's been really loving to pass the ball recently. But you go to Mile High, it's always tough to play there when you're not from there, and I'm getting a touchdown.
Technically a short week as well.
Yeah. Give me the Broncos plus 7.
Sunday night football to Saturday night football.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
nothing crazy, but that sometimes when you go on the road to the West Coast, especially from Buffalo all the way to Denver, that could mean a lot.
Broncos are a tough team to bet against. I feel
Yeah.
like
At home.
They always put themselves in a position.
They scare me at home.
Yeah, one thing I was going to touch on, when you took Carolina plus 9, it's like that defense just gave up, 35 points to the Broncos, and now they're going to go again play Green Bay.
It's the NFL, buddy. Things change on a whim.
They should,
That's where you get the value. That didn't happen. What, this line 7? 7.5?
7's a lot of points.
That's true. Well,
especially in Denver.
Not much for me here in the NFL. I did have one pick. I'm the sheep. I'm a follower. I did like the chalk in Kansas City minus 3. Everything you just touched on.
Told you guys.
Everything you just touched on, I agree with. It's still Kansas City's playing for the number 1 seed in the AFC. You don't know what the quarterback situation is in New Orleans coming into this week. I just think after 3 interceptions, Mahomes and that offense will be a little bit more locked in for a full game. And 3 points. If the Chiefs are going to win, I don't think the 3 points is going to be the issue there.
I'm on the same page as you guys. I love that.
I think we have a bet the farm. We have a bet the farm here.
I already bet Kansas City minus.
For those of you at home, we do a little bet the farm when everyone takes the same team. We like to hold hands and say, bet the farm. Kansas City minus 3 for those of you at home.
We're all in.
We're all in on that one.
What was our bet the farm last week?
Our bet the farm last week.
Charlotte Hornets over.
What?
No, I think.
No, I think we were talking about. I think it was the Bucks. You
The
convinced
Bucks.
me.
It was the Bucks.
6.5.
So we're 1-0 and bet the farm.
Yeah. So keep that track
Wait,
at
who's
home.
not in on the Charlotte Hornets over regular season?
I did not.
Oh
say
my
that.
God!
I know 3 of us were.
I promise you, we're gonna get to NBA.
It's not even about that.
You're gonna have your time. We're gonna get to basketball. Let's just wrap up the NFL. We got one or two more picks.
I got one more pick.
One more pick.
One more pick, and it's funny. I was thinking about last week. It was obviously our first week giving our cash crops, and on Thursday night, Eric had had that game against the Patriots, and we were all like, we got to start hot, 1-0. So there was a lot of pressure on that Thursday night game. Well, we're going to have even more pressure this week. Jared has the Chargers. I'm on the over of 52.5. It's a one-unit play. I'm going to come and hit you with some analysis. Raiders coming in with one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL, second worst in sacks, eighth worst in quarterback hits. That should provide a squeaky clean pocket for Herbert. However, what's crazy is that Herbert, so what we know is that the Raiders just changed their defensive coordinator, Rod Marinelli, 71-year-old, is going to be taking over on a short week. Now, what they may think to do, I feel, is because their pass rush is so bad, is send a blitz, try to get Herbert uncomfortable. However, per PFF, Herbert boasts one of the best quarterbacks ratings in the NFL at 96 when he's under pressure. So whether you send pressure or not, I think he's going to have a day. The Chargers have the fourth most passing yards in the NFL, while the Raiders give up the eighth most yards in the league through the air. The Raiders D also look like they'll be missing Clelin Ferrell out of Clemson, Damon Arnett, the linebacker Nicholas Marrow, and the safety Jonathan Abram. And it's going to be on a short week.
Stud.
Raiders defense also has one of the worst run Ds in the NFL, giving up the eighth most yards in the NFL and the most rushing touchdowns to opposing offenses. Eckler, I think, is going to feast this week. He's got the best. I think he's got the highest ceiling and the highest floor of the week of any running back. So for all of you player prop or DFS players out there, I definitely keep them on your radar.
Semifinals of fantasy football. So.
Definitely want them on your team. And then on the other side, Chargers giving up the seventh most points to opposing offenses, while the Raiders coming in scorching hot on offense. Derek Carr's been on an absolute tear. One trend that I saw that I really liked is since 2017, the overs on Thursday Night Football are 38 and 26. That's a good record to follow. And I'm really expecting a good 31-28 win by the Chargers, which
Give me a score here. I like it.
Yeah, 31-28 Chargers, which would have them cover. So Jared will be winning that bet. I might have to hop on.
Hey, get 2-0 on a Thursday night would be fantastic.
Sounds like two. I like the Chargers. Do we have two more, maybe? Huh?
I mean, for me personally, these two teams
It's so evenly matched.
These are the two teams for me. You can't bet on them. Can't bet against them.
To me, it's just two teams that it's always going to come down to one score. So
Yeah.
how do you know which way it's
If I
going to
were-
go? One
if I were to
pick,
lean
one way or
aside-
the other. You
If
never
I were to
know.
lean aside, I would probably do the over, but not a big fan of overs. I'm a under kind of guy. So
I just think this line's going to move. It's at 52.5 now, which is through the key number, which is nice. 52 is definitely a key number, but I think it could end at like 54, honestly. Maybe 55 straight up.
nice. Nice picks, guys. Let's see if we can get back in hot, rolling. Those are some sharp picks here. We call them our cash crop picks. NBA season is right around the corner, Milkman. I know this is your moment. I know got to trust the host. He's going to get you involved in his offense. NBA opening night. Talk to me. What do you got?
All right, so for opening night, we got Golden State and Brooklyn. First game to tip off. Brooklyn -5. I got to roll with Brooklyn -5.
That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt my under.
KD and Kyrie in the offense, although we haven't seen it yet, that just sounds too dangerous to me. And obviously with Clay out, James Wiseman is probably going to be a big part of their offense moving forward. But he's a rookie. It's his first game. You got Draymond Green obviously down the post, but I love the Nets. I love
Nets?
the Nets.
So
Love them.
one thing I was looking at when it came to the Nets was how many additions that they added this offseason. I didn't really realize it until I started crunching some numbers. But first of all, obviously Steve Nash, first-time head coach, is going to be there. Their assistants, did you know Mike D'Antoni is an assistant on the
Yes,
Nets?
I did see that.
And Amari Stoudemire, which
I saw that. He was like dunking in practice. They said he could probably play if he wanted to.
right.
Yeah, it's crazy
Love
that Mike
Amari
D'Antoni's going to
Stoudemire.
be the assistant to Steve Nash,
That's
the
what
first
I
time
was
head
thinking.
coach.
And
Like,
Amari.
think about how offensive that team is about to be minded. Like
Right.
When you put all those pieces together, it's
Kevin
like
Durant
but-
is, in my opinion, a better scorer than James Harden. I know a lot of people might
Basketball-
disagree with that, but
basketball's a chemistry sport. It's like that's why I tailed the under 46 wins. Like to put all those pieces together first year and to think that they're just gonna
Kyrie
click,
did it with
You know what they all have in
LeBron.
common?
losers.
None of them play defense or coach defense.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. What I was about to say was I'm going to be all over every over of the Nets games this year.
Yeah, they're
Now,
off.
their third option is Dinwiddie. Then they also have Joe Harris coming back. They added Landry Shamet as a three-point specialist. Bruce Brown, Jeff Green. Those are some additions
You know what they
this
say? There's only
offseason.
one basketball, so good luck sharing that basketball with all those scorers.
It'll be interesting. But I like them this year. I mean, I don't know what I feel about that team total over on the year, but it should be interesting.
Like Jared said, injuries happen, stuff like that. 46 is a high number, so. Well, there's a second game on opening night, right? We have that's the second game of the doubleheader. Or is
That's
that
the first one.
That's the first one.
The second one is a Clippers Lakers game.
Oh,
And
Lakers
I'm
are
all over Clippers plus 2.5.
Oh,
Clippers.
All
I love
over
that
it.
one.
I couldn't. disagree.
Defending champion first game. Clippers
Their favorite?
looking for revenge. A lot
Lakers
of
-2.5.
Okay.
minus 2.5. Yeah, definitely all over the Clippers. Those are both of them are going to be part of my cash crops as well. Just make sure you take those notes.
I'm fading you. I'm taking the Lakers
Wow,
-2.5.
disrespect
Wow.
on night
Yeah.
one.
We have our first.
I mean,
head-to-head.
wow.
Milkman in the bubble.
When it came to the
was-
playoffs, you always tail
honestly,
Milkman, but
I've never seen a run like this kid went on in NBA. I mean,
Yeah, playoffs
backdoor
is fantastic.
covering, like first quarters, first half.
LRC.
Yeah, we
left
would
and
just
right.
LRC everything.
I mean, the kid
Yeah.
was draining money like out of his
That was
fucking
one,
ass.
yeah.
For,
It's
for those
insane.
at home, when it comes to an LRC, is what we call it, is pounding them left, right, and center, which means you're most likely going to take them first quarter, first half, and full game.
And even throwing
And
a team
If you're feeling a team total
team
over,
total.
yeah, you can do
That's-
anything.
that's when you
and if
feel
you're really
who's gonna
feeling it, you take
dominate.
the opposite team total under. That's all. That's all out.
That's what you call riding, letting it ride on one game.
So, what do you like about the Clippers? What makes you so excited? What did they do? They lost three of their key contributors, and then all they gained was Ibaka, Kennard, and Batum.
okay, I
That's
think
trash.
Who's back in the league?
Kennard is
Serge
wet.
Ibaka is such a big addition. I think he's one
Over
of the most
Montrezl Harrell? What?
underrated
That's a
players.
hot
in the NBA.
take.
I love Serge.
I like
I was
Ibaka.
hoping Serge came to Miami. I love Serge.
Over Harrell? I don't get that at all.
I mean, I'm not really.
I think they're a little different.
I think they're much different. I like Serge
Thank you. Why?
over Harrell. I'm saying. You're saying
Yeah.
who do I like more? I'm
Yeah,
saying
why do
I
you like Serge?
'Cause first of all, he's got experience.
From?
He's from
Montenegro, move on.
That's funny.
no, he's a NBA champion. He's got experience, good leadership. I love him. He comes up in big moments. I love Serge.
I mean, I do think Ty Lue is going to be better than Doc Rivers, especially culturally, but
I mean, it just
Who's
comes down.
the coach?
Ty Lue.
This is a big year for Paul
I think
George.
that could be the piece that.
I just looked at the roster and was like, this is not great. Now, what it could be is less mouths to feed, which is probably better for Paul George and Kawhi, meaning they can get the ball in their hands more often, create more plays offensively. And they could be a better defensive team, adding guys like Ibaka and Batum. I don't know. I'm not buying on the Clippers this year.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the first game of the season.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
know.
talking about the
We know.
longevity
I know.
of the Clippers.
I get it.
You know.
That's all I'm talking.
I'm just saying, but what do you not like about the Lakers? They
It's
had
not
the
that I
best
don't like
offseason
them.
in the NBA.
I'm just saying that the first game coming out for championship, I just don't like them. I think the Clippers are looking out for revenge. They got beat. They're gonna come out and beat them in game one.
Betting
That's
against
it.
the NBA champion the first game of the season
I feel like
is
LeBron does it
historically
all
a
the
plus
time.
EV is a plus EV
Yeah.
bet, right? And take into account also they had only a 2-3 month off season, so
Yeah, that would be an
I'm
angle.
sure
you-
LeBron hasn't been picking up the basketball much, nor has AD. They've been having fun. I do like the Clippers also. Sorry, Brandon.
It's cool.
That's a better angle. Yeah, I like it. All right. Any other NBA picks? I know we didn't have a lot of NBA talks, but
So yeah, I wanted to. Just my third cash crop is the next night we got the Pelicans playing Toronto. Pelicans are getting 5.5 points. Okay, Pelicans, like I said last episode, and I know I say it all the time to you guys, and
I mean Zion, year number 2.
he's a healthy Zion on that offense already. It's just getting
Yeah.
5.5 points against Toronto. I mean,
I kind of agree with
I love
that.
it.
Are they home or what?
it is. I believe it is in Toronto,
Ooh, seems a little short.
which is in Tampa.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a good
I
point.
didn't even think about that.
Well,
So-
there's no fan. I mean, I'm not sure what the fan
I
situation
mean,
is.
either way, it's a road game for both of them.
Yeah, well,
So you're gonna give them 5.5 points.
look, I know you're gonna take the Pelicans every game, so
Yeah.
I'm not really.
And
gonna
the viewers are.
And it's
know
gonna be
that.
tough until the season goes on, you
Yeah.
know, especially in the beginning. 'Cause
Well, we're
obviously-
gonna have plenty of moments
but
talking.
it'll just make it.
We're gonna have plenty of moments to talk about NBA. I wanted to bring in that fun segment that we talked about some of the worst calls in referee history. You know, sports and betting goes hand in hand. Referees play a huge impact on these games and have been involved in some crazy calls that have lost games, won games, and then some just unbelievable calls that have ruined magical moments. I'll lead us off. My worst referee.
Well, just to preface before you get there, the reason that we decided to come up with this was based off of that shoe toss on your red card.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking about some of the weirdest and funniest or terrible calls in referee history, and
That definitely, yeah. So I'll go right into it. You know, it's almost like it's another bad beat with a referee call. I think it was 2012 Green Bay Packers. This was the year of the replacement refs, right? So they were trying to negotiate the contracts with the referees, and you know, this ultimatum on this call was the last week that they had the replacement refs. So I'm thankful for that. It was Green Bay against Seattle. Last play of the game, Russell Wilson throws up the Hail Mary. Meanwhile, I've got Green Bay money line. They were a little bit of an underdog. It was Monday Night Football.
I think I was on a cruise watching.
Oh, Hail Mary in the game. Clearly, the Green Bay guy has the ball. Golden Tate is just like he's on his back holding the ball, and then one referee signals touchdown. The other ref is going incomplete. They can't figure their shit out, and they rule it an interception. They go to review it. Still no call. I mean, I felt like I got robbed. Like someone came into my house, took my TV, and I just watched them walk right out. I'm like, how can you make that call? That was ultimately one of the worst calls I've ever seen and ruined one of my bets. So, it was like a double whammy at that moment.
8 years ago.
Yeah, I still will never forget that call.
And the best part about that was 3 days after that, they somehow miraculously came to an agreement to bring back the regular refs. That was the last straw. We're replacing refs, you're gone.
See ya.
The funniest part is it set a precedent for that call moving forward, which is now, like in baseball, tie goes to the runner. Now it's like tie goes to the receiver.
Yeah.
They set that
figured
rule
it.
because of that.
They figured it out at least.
Yeah. When I was thinking about one of the worst calls ever, I went down a rabbit hole and I just remembered. It's the one that always comes to top of mind when I think of the worst calls ever by a referee. And I kind of felt bad when I kind of feel bad when I think about it on both sides, but the Armando Galarraga's near perfect game. He's got a perfect game, 2 outs, grounds out to, I believe it was shortstop. Miguel Cabrera's covering first. Or no, it was to second. Or no, it was to Miguel Cabrera, and he threw it, pitched it back to the pitcher.
Yeah, pitcher got over to cover.
He grabs it, touches first base, literally a full yard, not a foot, a yard that he's safe. And the umpire, Jim Joyce with the handlebar mustaches, calls him safe when he was so clearly out, costed him of a perfect game. And Jim Leland was the coach of Detroit at the time. Comes running out, storming out, spitting in his face. God, I can't wait to watch umpires spit in their face again. Umpires. Watch managers spit in umpires' faces again. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, and then he had the press conference after. I fucked up. I apologize.
And then Jim Joyce, the next day, they played because it was obviously a 3-game or 4-game series. And Jim Joyce was he was again umpiring, and he was crying during the national anthem. I felt so bad. He hugged Galarraga. It was a good moment, but man, that's as bad as it gets. I mean, I can understand.
I played college baseball. I'm a pitcher. You work your ass off. You're going perfect game, last out. You have the guy out. That feeling of Galarraga when he stepped on the bag was I did it, and Jim Joyce safe. I would have been you gotta be fucking kidding me.
If this was during meme Twitter era, those memes would have been amazing. Because his face, he literally puts his hands in the air, the whole infield is going nuts, and he just deflates because he called him out a save.
That was a bad call.
Yeah, that was
Miles, you got any recent calls?
I was gonna say the same thing as you.
Yeah, the football one.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna.
Well, another one I thought of course, top of mind for any football fans, which is probably the most popular sport in North America, the Rams, Roby Coleman versus Saints in the NFC Championship.
That was terrible.
That's
terrible.
That's known as the worst call ever, I think. Man, the Saints can't catch a break. And then
Tottenham just conceded an extra time.
Yeah,
that makes me sick.
That's typical Tottenham right there for you Spurs fans at home.
Conceded an extra time, down 2-1, and that's going to hurt the 10-1 future that we took earlier.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's not over yet.
That's
the farm still has plenty of season to play, so we'll see how we move
Jared,
on.
any calls come to your mind or?
No, I'm out on this one. I actually was going to say the one you said.
Yeah,
because I had money on the Packers in that game too, so that one hurts. I've had a lot of bad beats.
It's terrible. That still hurts me.
I don't know what hurt more, that one or the Browns either. Well, probably that one because that was the difference between winning and losing. Browns was going to be a push or lose.
But did you even were you thinking about that when they were lateraling it? Please just don't go back in the end zone.
Obviously, what else were you thinking about?
I wasn't. I completely just didn't even think about it.
You haven't gambled enough in your life.
Deep and just laying on your bed comatose.
You probably don't gamble enough.
Oh.
Yeah, the sick mind of me. I think of every.
Dude, I was not even thinking about
I think of every possible way I can lose until the game is
finally. We went 4 for 4 in props, so it didn't really matter. But it was just
all right, well,
for Dino.
Let's move on to college football. It's championship week. A lot of conference championships are on the ground or up for grabs here this weekend. Got Ohio State's playing Northwestern. Ohio State is in the top 4, I think, right now, favored to go to the national championship, which is bullshit.
What did they play? 5, 6 games?
They played 5 games against nobody. Their toughest game was Indiana. The whole college football this year, I've honestly haven't been a big fan of what they've done.
Terrible.
It's just it's always big brand teams, right? Ohio State, go undefeated, you get in. You know, Notre Dame, yeah, they're undefeated. I could see them being in it, but what happens when they lose this week? Are they still going to get to the playoffs and Clemson and them go in? You know, there's a lot of question marks. I know we have some picks on these games coming up. I know you had a pick, right, for
Yeah, I
one of the
have one.
games?
Yeah.
Cash crop?
We can call it a cash crop.
Call it a cash crop.
Let's call it a cash crop. USC minus 3.5 against Oregon.
Oof.
Oregon's was that a oof, like a bad oof or?
That was let me wait to hear your analysis, but for now it's a bad move.
Okay, so
Go
you
ahead.
got me shocked.
Why?
Oregon's coming off 2 straight losses against unranked opponents.
Okay.
USC's undefeated.
Yeah. and
At
who-
home.
and who they
Undefeated 4-0. Like,
I mean,
played? Yeah, they played.
granted they haven't played any ranked teams, but
Their one big win was against the team that just
I
lost. by
love
69
USC
points.
minus 3.5. I'm sticking to it. They're averaging north of 35 points a game. They're gonna put
no, their
up a lot of
quarterback,
offense.
their quarterback's
He's a-
stud. They have a good wide receiver group. Good
Oregon's
running back.
letting up over 250 yards passing every game. USC is about to
Not
just.
that much.
It's going to be a high scoring game.
Okay.
I also kind of like the over, but I'm sticking with USC minus 3.5.
Nice.
You know, I could tell he wasn't that confident though when you said, "Is this a cash crop?" His response was, "We can call that a cash crop."
Yeah.
It wasn't like, "Hell yeah, this is a cash crop."
Yeah, you gotta be confident.
Yeah. Sounds like you're.
It's a cash crop.
All right. There you go. It's better. Good luck to all.
You got one there?
I
Jay?
actually do have one. Yeah, that I love. And
Was it Oregon plus 3.5?
That'd be amazing.
here we go. Just kidding. Just kidding. Clemson Tigers
Yes.
minus 10.
I'll
If you don't
take-
have minus
I'll
10,
take that, I'll
snag
take
that hook. I mean, look, I'm
Against Notre Dame?
I'm gonna be the first to throw it out here. I'm not a college football savant whatsoever. I'm not a sharp. I'm a lot sharper than NFL. Angle's a lot easier, but this angle is very easy. Lost to Notre Dame earlier in Notre Dame. If it wasn't a full crowd, it certainly looked like it when they stormed the field. I remember
100%
that.
full
Yeah,
crowd.
and I'm pretty sure it was a backup quarterback at the time, right?
Yeah.
When they lost.
It was.
So now they're it's only
Lost
minus
in
10
overtime, yeah.
on neutral field. Brian Kelly always loses a big game. Give me Clemson minus 10.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that one. I was going to put that on my cash crops. You know, typical sheep fashion, follow the leader. I'm going to go with a game 2. You have Boise State at San Jose State. San Jose State undefeated ranked versus an unranked Boise State team. Looking at that line, kind of similar to the Rams game, you'd kind of think San Jose State should be favored, maybe 1 pick 'em. Boise State's favored by 6.5 points. Looking at schedules this year, San Jose State's played absolutely nobody. They've had a cakewalk of a schedule. Yeah, they're undefeated. They're putting up some points, but I think this is going to be their first big test. Boise's only loss this year is to a tough BYU team. So they played in some big games. It was an ugly loss, but as of late, they're playing some good football. They have a tough defense. They're used to being in these type of games, whereas San Jose State, when's the last time San Jose State has even played for anything? And,
I didn't know
undefeated.
they had a football
I
program.
don't even know what their mascot is.
Only thing that I could think about San Jose
San Jose
State.
Sharks.
No, San Jose State is James Jones, Green Bay Packer.
Oh my
That's the only reason I know San Jose
NFL
State.
Did
Right.
Manny's boy go to San Jose State?
I don't think so, but I like
think
Boise
so,
State
yeah,
Broncos minus 6.5. I have a feeling that line might even go down to 6. So if you can probably be patient with it, it might go down a little bit. But I think this is going to be a blowout game for Boise State, and they'll hold the trophy at the end of the game. Any picks for you? No. Not even on the. There's a big game, Oklahoma Iowa State. That's a rematch
Did I hear
game.
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, it's a rematch game too, and Iowa State beat them earlier in the
Spencer
year.
Rattler will win the Heisman next year.
Next year.
You said that this year. Not that good.
Next year.
I have nothing to say about this college football season. I have found it to be an utter disaster. I just so out on it.
Yeah,
And it just reminds me of how out I'm going to be on the NFL draft this year as well. When everybody's hyping up all these guys that nobody's really had a good chance to see, and people are going to be dying whether you should draft that guy or you shouldn't when they have no idea how good they really are. It
Except
just
for Trevor Lawrence.
makes me sick. I can go on a rant about how I think the NFL draft is the most overhyped event in the history of sports, but I digress for now.
All right. Well, a lot of action. We gave you guys a lot of good cash crop picks. Anybody want to close anything on your minds? Any future bets or anything you guys want
Yeah.
to talk about?
I do.
Talk to me.
Again, just reaffirming Cole Anthony, 35-1 Rookie of the Year,
Why'd it go up?
because people are stupid like you.
Oh, Vegas is stupid.
What? You told me I'm too loud when I talk on the mic. Now you want me to move in? Make up your mind. Jeez. Yeah, but Cole Anthony, 35-1.
Vegas must be dumb.
I tailed Cole Anthony 35-1 as well.
Carter Ben.
That's win rookie of the year, by the way.
The kid that making fun of that pick is the one that took someone 3-1, whose star small forward just broke his finger today, and now maybe out for the entire season.
He's also shooting like 15% so far in the preseason.
Yeah, of course. But he can rebound and he can
assist. It's
assist.
so fun to just judge when you've never watched a single game that he has played in.
What did you watch? Lithuanian basketball? Congrats.
Dude, yeah, I was up at 4 a.m. watching it on my computer.
Who cares? He didn't play against
So
anybody.
I know what I'm
What do
talking
you mean? He played against 40-year-old Andrew Bogut. Is that nothing?
Remember who did he say? Who did he start over? Aaron Brooks? That was huge, right?
Bucktooth Brooks.
Oh,
Still an NBA vet.
Dude, I can already tell from watching 2 games of preseason highlights and looking at the box
Okay,
scores. LaMelo is Lonzo 2.0. They're the same exact player. Can't shoot.
No, they're not
They can
the same
assist and they can
player at all.
rebound. That's it. Look, watch it. It's gonna happen.
I think he's a little better
He's
than Lonzo, but
6'8",
he can't
dude. He's
shoot that
way
well.
taller.
Yeah. Okay. Still
He's
doesn't.
going to be a
whoop-de-doo.
point guard that can rebound. It's amazing.
Lonzo can rebound too. Maybe not as.
I mean, if I were to do anything,
I love
I'm not a
Lonzo,
big NBA
so.
person, but I would I always like for rookie of the year, like you want to take someone that's on a team where like, they'll probably contend, make the playoffs. I was thinking of like James Wiseman on the Warriors playing with Steph Curry, could have like a bigger role. That I don't know what his odds
Centers
It
are.
depends how he meshes with Draymond.
I just
too.
feel like you have to be a dominant ball scorer on a top team.
He's so young.
Who won rookie of the year last year?
And he has basically no experience.
Who
He
was the
only got to
rookie of the
play
year
like
last
4
year?
games.
Zion probably.
John
Ja
Morant.
Morant.
Yeah.
So yeah, ball scorer, and their team made the playoffs or came one game
Before that, it
away.
was like
John Morant's a
Simmons,
freak,
and,
though.
like all these guys
scorer.
that control the
Ben
ball.
Simmons in his second year, that was
Yeah.
bullshit.
Nice.
Him versus Mitchell. Mitchell was calling him.
Look,
Dude.
just remember Cole Anthony 35-1. Whether or not it wins, it's value.
Honestly, that is very good value. Better than 22-1 because I thought that's what
Better
it was
than
at.
2.5 to 1.
Well, it was when I looked at Richmond.
Not for a lock. It's a,
Well,
it's a
wait,
lock.
that's
It's not
why.
even starting. Oh my
Plus
god.
That's
Plus
why they play the
375.
games, and we'll find out
You
pretty
don't-
No,
soon.
and you know what? It's fair, you guys. I'm actually happy you guys don't agree with me.
No offense, no.
Better, so.
Look, I'm not agreeing that he's all right. We make fun of you on these bold takes because you're so obsessed with them. But point being is, to me, I look at these futures from one standpoint only: value. And you're taking a guy who's not starting in the starting lineup
He
at
is
3-1.
gonna start.
That is not value, no matter what you say. You
Plus
say he's gonna start.
375.
They're paying Terry Rozier $15 million, and Devontae Graham's been really
Plus
good. So I
375.
don't see any path to him starting unless there's an injury or a COVID case. So he's not going to start.
Even if he
And
averages
this is-
25 minutes a game, it's still enough time to become Rookie of the Year.
No chance.
At 3-1, I mean that's just not good value. is my
25
point.
minutes a
Closer
game
to
is not going to
4-1,
do it
but
anyways.
Plus 375.
Okay, it's
All right. It's not going to cash.
Well,
but-
I just
Whoa.
Sorry, not going to cash. It
please.
could, anything could
okay,
happen.
I hope the last 45
got-
seconds is saved. I'm gonna keep that clip forever.
good.
Ending, right?
Yeah, we're ending that segment for sure.
We're over with that shit. Well, great episode, guys. You know, hopefully these picks, you guys are following them at home. Just to recap all of our picks, our cash crops. We got Mr. Brandon Plotnick coming off a 3-0 week, gave you 2 picks, gave you Browns -4, and then the Thursday night football game, Chargers and
4.5 just for record
4.5?
purposes. Yeah, 4.5.
maybe by the hook, but 4.5 to go.
It's not a key number. I'm good on
Go
4.
with a hook. And then you have over 51.5.
You are the worst note taker of
52
all
and a half?
time. 52.5 on the over Thursday night Chargers.
Trying to help you out with a
Raiders.
point. You know, you get 52, you're a winner at home.
I wish my bookie did the same thing.
Yeah.
He's been staring at the Tottenham game the whole second half, so you can see why he's confused.
52.5 in the Chargers-Raiders game, so good luck to you on that one. Miles.
Wait, before you get there, let me just mention one thing. Although I only had 2 cash crops this week because they were in the NFL, stay tuned again this Friday, UFC show, me and the Burn Dog. I'll have a lot more picks for you there. We're not going to call them cash crops because that's for the sake of the Bet the Farm podcast, but you will want to tail a lot of those bets as well, so stay tuned for that as well.
Are you guys gonna be on IG Live? How are you guys?
It's going to be a regular podcast, just like you get them. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find your
On
podcasts. And YouTube.
YouTube. Miles, got you down for some stupid basketball plays.
There's one.
No,
college
Miles, we
football.
got- yeah,
Stupid
we-
basketball plays.
I'm
That's this
joking.
coming week.
You got Nets -5 opening night. We'll recap that as the games get closer. The game's on Tuesday, so actually we'll be able to get you on the board there. We got the Clippers +2.5, and then we got USC Trojans in a college football game -3.5 over Oregon. Farmer got you down for Chargers plus 3.5. Carolina plus 9. That's going to be a loser. Kansas City minus 3.
He said he liked Carolina
Yeah,
plus.
he's the biggest homer.
Kansas City minus 3 is our bet the farm pick of the week. That's the pick that we all agree on where we're going all in. That's the one main lock we love as a unit. Jaguars plus 13. Broncos plus 7. And then in college football, I agreed with him on this one as well. Clemson minus 10. I think they should handle business, get that revenge.
And
then,
sorry, last thing, the last wager I got, which is the best wager you can make today, new all-time high, Bitcoin, 21,100.
I saw that.
So if anyone is still
Congratulations.
listening for some odd reason, best wager you can ever make on this show is to buy some of that.
That's it. I did see that $20,000, and I remember you told me at the beginning of the pandemic, I think it was like 7,000 or 8,000. You said go buy a coin. I'm like, Jesus, like that's crazy. Like how much more could it go up? I would have already had 100% and some on my investment.
And you want to hear crazy? It's gonna hit next year at this time. It's gonna be 200,000.
I think it's gonna be 200,000.
Stay
Put that down in the
tuned.
notes.
Stay tuned for a Finance Stance podcast with Jared Plotnick coming soon.
That's a financial faucet, baby, because I'm gonna leak you financial information.
And then myself, guys, I'm going with Boise State minus 6.5 in the championship game there over San Jose State, and I also agree with the team on Kansas City minus 3. Looking forward to watching these games this weekend. It's gonna be a fun sports week. Don't forget, guys, like Brandon mentioned, we are doing a UFC podcast to give you more in-depth analysis and winners on the UFC fight card for this weekend. We have our Flaney's Feud review with Matthew Lawson. Going to go over the finest foods that Flanagan's has to offer. He's also going to give you some picks. If you followed him last week,
That sucks.
that sucks, but hey, he's due for a big week, like I like to call it. So it might be Tail City with Matt Lawson, but listening to that one. And guys, just have a good week. It was fun. Looking forward to Saturday night Green Bay game. Keep the ball rolling
Panthers.
there.
Cheers.
One love.